Hello, everyone.
Hey, guys.
Welcome to a very, very special edition of the Supabase Happy Hour. Whoops, not meant to be sharing yet. There we go. Welcome to this very special Supabase Happy Hour. Today we are going to try to build an app in 2 hours. And so we have to minimize the amount of time that you guys let me waffle on at the start and just get into actually building something. But yeah, if this is your first time to what we usually do is spend a couple of hours each week building fun stuff with Supabase. And it's already telling me that there are connection issues on my side. So
is your backup running?
Yeah,
it may be running.
For those who are in the stream, the running joke is John doesn't pause his backup and it kills his entire internet connection.
Every single time. No, that doesn't appear to be running this time. Anyway, if this is your first time to the Happy Hour stream, we try and build some fun stuff and we just really have an excuse to hang out each week. So quick introductions. My name is Jon Meyers. I'm a developer advocate at Supabase.
I'm Tyler, and I'm also a developer and advocate at Supabase.
My name is Alaister, and I'm a developer at Supabase.
He does not advocate.
Like the new title.
Refuses to advocate.
But this week's stream is a special one. So if you don't tune in regularly, we are usually working on a single app over multiple streams. I think the first... How many episodes was season 1?
9? Was it like 9?
Yeah, 9. And then I think there was like a special one in there that was an interview.
Right.
We
with
do a special every now and
8,
again.
I guess.
Yeah.
Like any good television program.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Once
this one, because it's launch week, as John said, we're going to try and bang out an entire app in just 2 hours, but we'll see how we go with the time frame and actually deploy it to hopefully a real domain name. And then hopefully people can use it.
Oh, we're gonna. Oh, yeah. See, Alaister's like kind of hinted some things, but then left the rest of it in the dark. That he has potentially a domain that he's purchased for this very stream, or I'm gonna say for this very stream.
I'm like every developer. I've got way too many domain names, so it's probably nice to use one. You know, it's just like
yeah.
So we're going to build one of Alaister's dream projects here live.
It's not even that exciting, but we're going to give it a go.
Just quick shout out to MicroPanda, who's joining us from Poland, and Cookify Media. Both of you have joined us a whole bunch of weeks now. That's awesome. Anyone else in the chat, let us know where you're tuning in from. And if we're not too busy trying to smash out this application really, really quickly, we will address the comments and we're definitely going to need the chat weighing in on what we're building here, because we don't have much time to make decisions. Jason's saying good morning, excited for this one, and is joining us from Ireland, which is very exciting.
Yeah,
he would be the CTO of Supabase, so definitely will let us know if we're heading down the right path.
Technology choices. He's going to go.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. You got to use Supabase. And we'll go, what?
Andre is saying hello. Thomas is saying hello. Elliot is saying hi from California. Razul is joining us from Italy. And Poseidon 10 is hand wave. Welcome to the stream. Awesome. All right, let's get started. Well, actually, no. All right, just some very quick shout outs. If you've been living under a rock this week and you don't know, if you're a fan of Supabase but somehow haven't heard yet, it is launch week number 5. Today,
I don't know if you're sharing your screen, John. It's just I'm just staring at green, which
Oh, really?
admittedly
I'm
not
seeing the screen.
unpleasant.
I'm seeing your screen
Oh,
fine.
maybe it's Alaister's connection issue.
I don't know. I've got the actual stream. Go to the actual stream on YouTube. I'm just on
Oh,
both of my windows.
Is that
okay.
one
Maybe
delayed
just
by
Wow.
try
audio?
resharing it. Maybe it's StreamYard.
Okay.
Having some
StreamYard.
fun.
How could you? All right.
Either way, I'd
Share.
like to see a screen.
Might help. All right.
Yeah, no, the stream people in chat say, yeah, we just see blank. I'm in
All
the right. There you go. There we go. Look
All
at me.
right.
Wow.
All right. Wow, we are off to a bad start. We are not getting this app done if we can't even get through.
We'll get it out of the way now.
That's fine.
So once we get to the actual app.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
My pitch again. If you've been living under a rock and for some reason haven't heard, it is launch week number 5. So this week we have launched new features every single day. And for us here in the APAC region, so I'm in Australia, Alaister's in Australia, and Tyler is up in Japan. For us, it is the last day of launch week. So it's already day 5. But it might not feel like that to the rest of you who are living in a slightly different time zone. But so far this week, we have launched the admin API into beta. We've launched the Supabase CLI into version 1, which uses that admin API. So you can now manage your projects, create new projects from the CLI, which is very cool. We've launched version 2 of Supabase JS. And so that kind of encompasses all of our other client libraries and all of the changes that have gone out there. So our auth library, our real-time library, and we will see some of those changes today. We're going to commit to not only trying to build an app, but trying to learn how to use the new features that even we probably haven't played with that much. So yeah, it's going to be a fun experience. We've also launched a whole bunch of security, enterprise, and compliance features, and a brand new version of real-time multiplayer, which includes broadcasts and presence, which
Very exciting.
we might not get to today, but we'll see. We'll see what Alaister's big idea is.
Big idea. I mean, that page, by the way, is quite good if you want to learn some more detail about what's going on. If you scroll down, there's a good overview and lots of links to all the different things that we've... so John's given you the 2-minute introduction there, but there's heaps in there. Go read all the blog posts if you're
go read
interested.
the 5-hour version by digging much deeper into all of the things that have shipped this week, because it's already just been ridiculous. But yeah, head over to supabase.com/launch-week. And check out all the stuff that we have launched, and then all of the stuff that we'll be launching later today for the very last day of launch week 5. We're at day number 5 of launch week 5. It's all over after today. But alongside this, we've been running a hackathon. And so if you're not familiar with Supabase hackathons, basically we set a week, or in this case 10 days, where we get excited about building stuff with Supabase and get the community to build some cool projects. We get everyone to submit them through Made with Supabase, which is also another awesome resource to see all of the cool things that people are building with Supabase. And this was actually a hackathon project from one of our early hackathons that is now like the official place for all project showcases with Supabase. So yeah, check that one out. But we thought it would be fun, as we said before, to celebrate the hackathon, celebrate launch week. We're going to try and build an app. So, Alaister, what are we building today?
The very exciting, not exciting idea that definitely doesn't exist already in many different permutations. But basically a feature wish list. So you've got an app, you've got a web app, and you want people to vote or suggest new features.
Ooh.
We can get some of the new real-time features in there by like showing a presence counter for who's looking at what feature, for example. People could, like, you know how on like Instagram Live you click the heart and all like the hearts come up? You could do that.
Feature scope creep.
Scope creep.
It's
very simple. It's a few things. You can like post a new feature. You can vote on existing features. That's probably all we'll have time to do. Like we could get comments in there. We could make the scope go wild. But I've got the domain name featurewishlist.com. So why not?
That is amazing.
You actually own the domain?
Apparently.
Wow.
You see, I see a .com's available, even if it's a bit long, and I can't resist.
What is it? Wishlist.com or featurelist.com?
Featurewishlist.com.
I don't think I could get featurelist.com. I think that would be a bit more expensive than $10.
Domain, or
but featurewishlist.com. I've got. So we can, bang something out. We're all going to be working on it at once. Usually, we just have Jon doing the typing, and then Tyler and I kind of yell at him, and he gets really stressed. It's a good time. You should join us weekly. But this one, we're all going to come on and see how three Supabase devs see how far we can get.
Yep.
See if we can get past. We'll see how far we can get. All right, MicroPanda is calling me out that I did not shout out our friend here, Marcus.
Can you pull up the tweet? Oh, you got the tweet. Wow.
Got the tweet. Got the profile. Marcus asked me to shout him out on the stream. So since you're joining us live, you get a live shout out and your full profile there. People go give Marcus a follow. He's joined us every week and it's been awesome. All right. Back to the app. All right. So I was going to try and use the Supabase CLI to
create a project,
to create our project, but now I realize I've just created our project
but we don't have to wait for it to spin up, and we're very limited on time. So
all right,
check out the CLI blog post.
Yeah, check out the blog post on the CLI to learn how you can create projects now. So you don't need to you still can, but you don't need to go through the Supabase UI to create a project. You can spin up the Supabase CLI and run a command to create a project. All right, cool. How do we start?
We have to spin up. So basically, we have to decide on the tech stack, and we've already kind of decided, right? We're gonna go with Next.js and Next.js, Tailwind, Supabase.
Oh
else?
Yeah,
that's pretty much it, right?
I think that's it. So we've also run this sneaky little command to save some time. npx create next app with Tailwind.
Nice.
And so this gives us a Tailwind project with TypeScript configured, everything ready to go with a project called Wishlist. So I've opened that up in VS Code, and I forgot to do the live share thing, but we will get that going so we have some friends joining us.
Let's do it.
Because I will not have enough time to type all of these things. Live share.
And then everyone can see the link and join in.
I was gonna say.
Oh yeah, good call. Yeah, if you want to help us out, and please be kind. It's copied to my clipboard.
Is it in your clipboard? Or can you just ping it through to us?
Yeah,
if that's how that works, that'll be great.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, cool. And then they should be able to join me on this index.js page. And I think we can even run a shared terminal. So if I say npm run dev, I think we can all be maybe viewing localhost over port 3000. Maybe you guys won't be able to see it. Give it a go. That's not what I wanted. Localhost over port 3000. We have this app. And yeah, they'll join me soon. So the things that Alaister has joined.
Has he? Wow.
Maybe.
Yes, I'm here.
Awesome.
In the browser, mind you. How do I open this in normal VS Code?
Don't know.
Also struggling with that.
Because I'm gonna hit Command W because that's so in my muscle memory to close the tabs in VS Code. But it's just gonna close the tab.
Trying to close my window. That doesn't make sense.
No, I just closed the whole browser window by accident because I'm used to that shortcut.
Have I joined? I feel like I was able to open it with my VS Code over here.
Open in VS Code. Open.
All right. So while these guys are getting that sorted, I'm going to make big claims that we are going to create a hosted Postgres instance, which we already have by just creating a Supabase project. We are going to implement authentication. So we have some brand new auth functions, some sign-in functions that we're going to show you how to use as well. Rather than one polymorphic sign-in function, we now have multiple sign-in functions for each of those different providers. So we'll show you that as well. We are going to do some authorization with row-level security. So we're going to show you how to enable row-level security and how to write a policy. We are going to also try and do, I guess, some relationships across multiple tables. So how to model a relational database schema, which you probably will have seen basically all of these steps in anything that we've done so far. If we get a chance, we should do Postgres Functions. So a really easy use case for that is people like creating their own usernames or something like that. We can automatically create a little in-between table for people to store extra data that's related to our app. Some Postgres triggers to wire all of that up. And then maybe some real-time. So we'll get into actual real-time subscriptions and things, and maybe, we probably won't get there, but we could do edge functions and we could do RPC, but we'll see how far we get. And deploy. We gotta deploy this. That's part of the deal. We gotta get it in production. So, yeah. Are you ready to commit to this?
That sounds like a very doable thing in 2 hours, definitely.
1 hour. Well, it's 1 hour and 45 minutes now, so don't get too excited. All right. So, look at this. The app's being built right in front of our eyes. This is awesome. I didn't realize this was an option. I can just talk the whole time and you guys can write all the code. It'll be just like normal work at Supabase. All right. So
maybe you can do the database stuff if you like.
Let's do it.
You can
I would love to do
can
that.
you? I'll start setting up Supabase JS and then we can circle back around to that.
Well, one thing we need to do with Supabase JS that we should call out is we are going to be using the brand new release candidate version of Supabase JS, which we can install by saying at Supabase/Supabase.js.
Yep.
This would be how you would install the latest version of Supabase JS, but the new features that we've launched have gone into a special release candidate. So is it just -RC or
it's at RC? Yeah,
at RC. So this is a special release candidate version. So if you want to follow along with the stream or you're watching later, if you're watching like a little bit later, it'll probably just be the latest version of Supabase JS. But for now, we've released this as a release candidate. So make sure you tack on that at RC. If you're watching, well, do either of you know when the
I think a matter of weeks is the so maybe even 1 or 2 weeks away. It would just be install the normal version, but yeah.
Let's put everyone lock everyone into a deadline and say that if you're watching this in September 2022 or later, just take off the at RC. But if you're watching before that, maybe put it on.
Just check NPM. That's what I'm going to say.
Well, I'm just loving making these huge claims. Like I've made a huge claim that we're just going to build this app with all of these features today. So I feel like I can just roll that into features that are being built at Supabase as well. All right. So we have a project here. And so how do we want to model this schema? I'm assuming we want a new table for like features, wish list items.
Yeah, features.
Features sounds nice.
Yeah, why not?
We want to enable row level security now.
Yeah, why not?
Do we want to enable real time now?
Turn on all the things. Yeah. Why not?
I just stop asking all these clarifying questions. I just need to make decisions and just go with it. Go with my instinct. All right, we're going to quickly try and explain all of the things as we go as well in really, really time-confined versions of the explanation. So row level security is the way that we encourage you to implement authorization at Supabase. So it is a way to bake access policies into the database itself so that none of your data can leak out to anyone that it shouldn't. And so by enabling row level security, what it does is deny all actions by default. So you can no longer select, insert, update, or delete. So if we tried to pull the data from our database into our Next.js app after enabling row level security, it won't work. It'll give us back an empty result for this new table. What do we call it? Features table. Even if we had features in there, we wouldn't be able to see them in our app until we write a policy to be able to select them. So that's what row level security is. So we're enabling row level security. We can no longer select, insert, update, or delete. And then we need to write a policy for each of those if we want to enable those actions. The other one is real time. So once we get to doing some database real time stuff, we will want to listen to changes in the database and update the UI. So with our example of being able to like click basically upvote or heart or whatever, each one of those reactions, if you want to see other people that are adding those reactions at the time, or saying that they also want this feature and upvoting it, if we want the UI to update live, then we need to click this enable real-time button. However, as a quick caveat, we don't need to click this real-time button for broadcasts or presence. So the two new things that have come in Supabase real-time multiplayer, the two new features in that do not require us to tick this box, but if we want to do database real-time, we do. All right, so I've ticked the box. What's our schema going to be? We want firstly, Alaister always wants us to use a UUID because it looks much nicer. And he always wants us to use this function to generate a new UUID by default. And he always wants us to turn off the is nullable on this date because it will always have a date. And now what extra columns are we going to need?
Title, maybe?
Title?
That can be the title of the feature that we want to see.
Are we going to have a description, or is it just going to be title?
Oh.
Let's just go
we
with
can always
title
add a description. Let's keep it really
title.
simple.
Yep.
Okay.
You can't go into detail about what the feature is.
All right. Sounds good. So I guess this also can't be nullable because it doesn't make sense for us to have a feature that doesn't have any information about it. Do we need anything else? I guess the votes, like or do we have like likes or something? How are we doing?
We'll have that in a separate table, I think, for like an upvotes table or something. And then we can see who upvotes what, that sort of thing.
Sick. All right. So we are creating that table. And now I might just insert a test record so we have something to work with. So have you guys built out the entire application yet? We got an error.
Not just yet.
What's
that looks
our error?
Fun. What version of Node are you using?
All right. The rest of the stream is
18.
going to be me.
Can you use Node 16?
I have NVM or anything installed. What's
No.
the fastest way to do this?
In that case, do the npm install command again, and like just go up, hit up to get back to it. Yeah, there we go. And then do -- legacy peer deps.
Legacy peer deps. So yeah, this is a.
I'm not sure if that's actually the issue, but that always. I like the legacy peer deps. It's much less strict, so probably more incorrect, but it works. So
yeah. But if you're running a later version of Node, this shouldn't be a problem. This is my fault, not Supabase's fault.
I think it's ESLint's fault, to be honest, from what I can see.
Okay, cool. All right, so we have a test record here. Should we create the other table while we're waiting for that to install?
Sure.
Our upvotes table.
Votes.
Yeah, well, just votes. Yeah, I like that, Tyler.
All right, we're going to enable row level security and real time. And so what is this going to be? Is this just like literally going to be counting the number of votes?
I want UUIDs and I want a foreign key.
I told you. I
want it now.
And he makes me turn off is nullable there as well. You want a feature ID? Is that right?
Yeah. That looks good.
So that would be coming in from our public features table and linked to the ID column. And every single vote is always going to have a feature that it's associated with. So we don't want that to be nullable. And then what would we like? A number?
Well, so we're going to have a user ID. So we'll just count the number of things coming from these, from each user. So,
so do we want to create a separate like profiles table to store extra data about our user?
Not at this stage. We can always come back around to it, but we can just link this directly to the auth.users table because like one user won't need to see another user's voted on a certain thing. So
sick.
Right.
And we don't ever want that to be nullable because it has to.
And before you save, can you do the cheeky trick?
Ooh, cheeky. Auth.users UID. So what this does is this calls a special Postgres function that we give you as part of Supabase, and this will automatically set the default value to be whoever the user is that's currently performing this action. So basically, if someone is clicking the upvote button, this is going to associate it with that user without us needing to like pass that information across or work it out anywhere else. We can just set the default value to be auth.uid, and then this will be populated with whoever that signed in user is. All right, is that everything we want for this table for now?
Tyler, any thoughts?
I think so. As long as we don't, when I'm implementing downvotes and stuff, yeah, this should be fine. Yeah, let's keep it this way.
Everything's an upvote until it's not.
Yep.
Well, I mean, an upvote could just. Oh yeah, right. Because all right. Everything's an upvote. We're gonna have a positive app. Everyone's gonna be building each other up rather than tearing each other down. I like it. So we have a feature, so let's add a vote just so that we have something in here. And since Alaister is making us do things properly, actually we can't even create a vote because we don't have a user yet. All right, so we still have this error.
That looks like a fun one.
-- force.
Cannot read properties of null reading matches. Like, what even is that? Maybe just go download Node 16 and use the installer from the thing, because.
Okay, like NVM, or go and just like download it.
Just grab nodejs.org and then download, and then do macOS installer 16. Yeah, that big old button.
We have.
Well, does that give you the ARM version? I don't know what version that gives you.
With the VS Code live share, if I run npm install on my VS Code over here,
think
is it still gonna use?
Yeah, it runs on John's terminal.
Yeah, okay. That's so. But
I thought of that, and I thought, oh no, it's that. Damn, not gonna work.
Good thinking though. The install's over here. So cool. What can we do while this is installing?
You can. Well, what I'm not doing at the moment is setting up a sign-in page. So a sign-in page.
We are gonna use Auth UI.
Are we? We can.
Whoops. So if I open this again, does it load a new one? Node version. Ooh, that's right. Yeah, that's what we wanted.
No, 16. I wanted 16. You have to kill your terminal probably and go back to
it. Can I just trash it? Does that work?
Yeah, trash.
Woo! Node -v. No.
Oh.
Maybe you're using Homebrew to install Node. It's fun. I have no idea how to downgrade it with Homebrew.
All right, it's all over.
Cheeky Google.
All right. This is exactly what the stream should be.
Well, it's like
it's actual production. Yeah,
that's true.
Why isn't my Node version working?
Engineers go through every single day. I think people can relate to this.
Yeah, MicroPanda says Supabase Happy Hour 16. Let's set up Node. We promised build an app in 2 hours. Instead, you get us setting up Node. Everyone's saying use NVM, but
all right.
But I don't know if you can use NVM now. Like, you might just get into a state where you just have no Node on your computer, which is
what? Why can't I use NVM anymore?
Maybe you just do brew install Node at 16.
I recently, I think it was like last week, helped my friend set up NVM when he already had regular Node installed, and it was not easy.
Yeah, no, you don't want to do it.
All right,
and then we wait 5 minutes for Homebrew as it upgrades every single thing on your computer.
We can probably work on some.
Yeah, all right. Let's build a sign-in page.
Are we gonna have feet? So,
do we want to do a sign-in, or do we want to do it on this landing page if the user is not currently signed in? We're going to make decisions quickly, everybody. We're doing it on the landing page.
Multitask. Oh my word.
Okay.
Sign in equals a new function, and what we will be doing is we will be importing. Actually, we need to create a Supabase client. That's easy. That'll take some time. And
I've set up a Supabase client.
Yeah, Alaister has already done it.
Alaister, if you weren't so efficient, we would have something.
We got to go fast, guys.
Oh man. I will not write it. I will write the start again before I write the end. There we go.
So the plan
Cool.
is we're gonna have everything in index.tsx, like list of features. So if you're signed in, you're gonna have list of features right there, and then if you're not signed in, you're gonna have like a login page, login component.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And then they can just click login and it just stays on the same page. So what Alaister has created off screen is this lib.supabase.ts. And so this is creating a Supabase client using our Supabase URL and our Supabase anon key, which he has also created or one of you has created a .env local file and populated it with our anon key and our Supabase URL, which is very cool. So we're just exporting out a
Really?
Supabase client.
I guess that's
if you
something
need,
you don't get with VS Code Live Share, huh? I don't have that file on my VS Code.
You know,
Interesting.
neither do I. I made that file and I don't have it.
oh, that's cool. You don't get those secret things.
No.
You don't.
It's like
Apparently I can make them. That's kind of random.
So the place that you find
This
this,
is
if you're looking to
interesting.
do this in your own project, is going to settings and then API. We have the URL here, and we have the anon key here. So these are the two values that you need to put in a .env.local file. And how are we doing on this? We stored long enough? We have. All right. So now node-v 18.
I think you gotta select like that node version somehow, like brew pin or something.
What?
It's a brew pin command, like pin.
Brew install node at version. How do I install a specific version of node? And everyone's saying MVM. Brew install node at that, unlink node, and then link node at
for
blah, blah. We can do it. Unlink node. And then link node. We want it at 16. Error.
Wow.
What? This is going great.
Oh, maybe unlink npm as well, or just override it. You know,
override.
What could possibly go wrong?
How to actually break your node version so that we can't do the stream at all. 16. Boom. We did it. All right. It's done. It's working. So now we're going to go
Will it solve our problem?
Now we get to find out whether Alaister was actually talking with authority on things that he knew about, or whether it was all a lie.
It was all a lie. I can tell you now.
All right, cool. That will totally work. And what's happening over here is we have... Oh, you guys are building out so many nice things. So we have an index page. We haven't brought anything in there yet. We are building out a feature list, I guess, a login page, and we've brought in a spinner.
Nice spinner.
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know how it looks.
Awesome. All right, so for our login, what we're going to do is we have this Supabase client now. We have new ways to sign in. So previously, you would say, oh, wait, supabase.sign, supabase.auth.sign in. And this would basically detect what are you trying to pass through. So if you pass through like an email and a password, it would say, okay, you're trying to use email and password authentication. If you pass in just an email, it'd be like, all right, cool, you're trying to use Magic Link. But if you, rather than doing that, we now have one, we have a separate function for every single type of sign-in provider that we support. So if we come across to the Supabase docs, you can see our brand new doc site. And if you go to, I think it was authentication, login with email, we're now using, this is not the new version of the docs.
Yeah, I think it is.
All right, maybe the other ones have. No, that's still sign in. Sign in
Yeah, I
with
think it's
GitHub.
I know you got to go like /next or something in the URL somewhere, or something. Or maybe that's just for reference. Go to reference instead of looking at
Reference.
the guide.
I think you have to change
V1 at the
VB1
top.
up there.
Yeah. There we go.
Next. All right, change that to next. Come to auth and go sign in. So now if you're signing in with password, you explicitly say sign in with password and then pass it an email and password. If you're signing in with OAuth, then you say sign in with OAuth and pass it what your provider is. So we have these different functions for each of those ways that you want to sign in. So
we've got some problems. Can you
same
try?
problem.
I'm thinking it's VS Live Share. Can you just go to your other
Mm.
terminal and do it in there?
Good call.
Because who even knows?
All right. Failing this, we just won't use the release candidate and we'll just do all
No,
of
it's not. I think it's all npm installs.
Okay.
Because yeah, and we are using the release candidate at all costs because I've already written some code for it. Did that fail as well?
We've got problem overriding peer dependency. So this sounds more like our. Oh, does this mean I'm running the old version of Node again? Which wouldn't make sense. What was the one with the stuff? Right. -- legacy -peer -dependencies. Is that it?
Peer depths.
Peer depths. Okay. Peer depths. All right. 40 minutes in, we've almost installed Supabase
We're
JS.
40 minutes in. No, we're 30,
Yeah.
36 minutes, 37 minutes in. There's a difference.
We're good. We're good.
All right, that's that same error. I cannot read properties of null.
Mm.
Can you try their normal version then? See if it is, in fact, I really don't think it would be the release candidate. I think it's just.
So one way we could solve this is if one of you two wants to drive and isn't getting this error, still getting the overriding to peer dependency error. So if we do this one without
They're all just warnings. The actual error is cannot read properties of null.
Okay, so that's that same error. Cannot read properties of null reading matches.
Anyone in chat an npm expert?
Oh, because it's still it's having the same problem with Supabase JS.
Yeah.
So we might just be screwed for the entire stream and not be able to actually do anything.
I solved this problem by running npm cache clear -- force.
Oh god. All right. Cache clear
Cache
force.
clear -- force. Yeah.
Here's where it just
Here's where your
deletes
computer
Node.
starts to take off.
All right.
Do
Let's
the
try at RC with the legacy peer to pet.
Why not? Yeah.
All
Stack
right.
Overflow, yeah.
How's everyone in the chat
Well.
going? Yeah, this might be a super short stream. Or maybe we'll just go back to just chatting about what we've been doing all week and not worry about building an app. What'll be really cool is if it takes us like an hour to get this sorted, then we can show how awesome Supabase really is by building an app fully launched into production in 1 hour.
That's the Jon's plan all along.
He wants to slow us down.
Just stalling.
We need a handicap.
That's right. It's like in NBA when they're just like dribbling out the ball and then they just like hit a 3 on the buzzer. That's what I'm doing. This looks more hopeful, I'm going to say, with some confidence.
Yeah, there's less warnings.
Yeah.
And we learned a new thing.
Jack is saying just keep trying older versions of Node. Yeah, we'll roll back to version 12, version 10. Yeah, eventually we'll hit that sweet spot where it lets us install an npm package, like Node should probably do. Yeah. All right. It's gonna work. I believe. How's our application going?
I've set up a new little, if you look at the auth.tsx component, just a handy little helper with auth thing,
Cool.
which I might actually export. So
Cool.
this is largely based off the Next.js example in the docs. So if you want to go and, if you want to rewrite this, just look in there. But we're basically just grabbing the, using this new get session method, which is async. So it will always give us a fresh session. And then we set that into our session state. And then down, if you scroll down the bottom, we're essentially doing a switch on whether, if there is no session, we're just going to redirect. Otherwise, we're going to actually render that component. So we can just wrap this around our Next.js pages. Keep in mind, this is just a client-side thing. We're not doing any server-side rendering today. We're just using Next.js as like a client-side framework almost.
Cool.
But yeah, it's just a handy little helper to keep auth pages authed.
Nice.
How's our npm install?
Error. Reading null of matches.
Oh, man.
All right. Time to actually Google this, hey?
Yep.
Of
course, it's when you need to, it's always that time.
Cannot read. Oop. What's everyone building for their hackathon projects?
Yeah, as we sit and stare at the screen.
Something to talk about, though, actually.
All right.
Yeah, Tyler, you can tell us about what you're doing for your hackathon.
Yes, I'm building a multiplayer game using Flutter and a gaming engine called Flare. So Flare is a gaming engine for Flutter, so it takes care of like collisions and like gravity and that sort of physics motions and stuff. So yeah, I thought it would be fun to use the new multiplayer, especially the broadcast feature. So broadcast features a feature where you can share a small bits of data with other clients connected to your Supabase instance. And the nice thing about it is it has really low latency. So I'm trying to use that to create a nice game where you can essentially play with other players in real time, and it'll be fun, hopefully.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
John,
I've actually worked out what the real problem is.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting away with this. I've seen what you've done now.
All right. npm run dev. No, can we just not talk about it, Alaister?
I saw it.
All right, everyone. It was my fault. It was all my fault. When I have PNPM installed, and now it haunts me. And anytime I create a new Next.js project, or anytime I create a new project, it tries to use PNPM. And then if I don't use PNPM install instead of npm install, everything just breaks, because it's like, why are you trying to install something with npm when this project uses PNPM? So all I've done is deleted the PNPM lock file, deleted the node modules folder, and then used.
Should have said something about that. I
Use
noticed it, then
npm
I was like,
Tyler, then it's your fault.
Tyler, how could you? How could you do this to me? All right, all of the last 45 minutes have been really fun. But now we're up to actually building our application. So there was actually nothing wrong there. It was just the fact that I was trying to install it with something that we had set up separately in the project. So what were we building?
Login screen? Is that what you were doing?
Oh, yeah. So now we have Supabase JS actually installed. And so now if we go to our login screen, this login.tsx. This one. So something that wasn't happening before is I wasn't getting my autocomplete and I was getting confused as to why. But now, because we actually have the library installed, I can say supabase.auth. And then you can see all of these different sign-in methods. So we have sign in with OAuth, sign in with OTP, sign in with password. So what do we want to use? Let's just use password for now, because yeah, it's the fastest to implement.
Sure is.
So the way that we do this is we need to pass across an email and a password. So in our login page, we need an input for, I guess we need a form.
This is fun. I'm having fun now. Now that we've got past the node issue. Oh, it's all happening. How's everyone in chat doing?
Right. I want to actually, so we have an input for our email. So this one can have name equals email, and then we can have an input for our password, which can be of type password. And then when we submit our form, we actually just want to call sign, don't we? This is going to be past an event, and since we're in Next.js, we're going to do that wonderful thing where we prevent the default behavior of our event, because we don't actually want to refresh the page. And we await a call to supabase.auth sign in with password. So we just need the username and password. So I think we can still use our fancy like email password from object.from entries, and we can pass it in a new form data of e. Does this work? That looks like it could work. Console log out our email.
Can you do me a favor, John, and just check the env local? It looks like they haven't come through those env vars, or the because I apparently I'm not allowed to edit the file.
Right.
Yeah. And maybe you can update the. Oh no, they're okay in the. Yeah, just you can. Yeah. You got it. Nice.
I got it. So we're going to put in our Supabase URL and our Supabase anon key. So as I was saying before, we can get that from going to settings and then API. Settings, API, and copying our URL here, and then copying our anon key here. And our anon key is safe to have exposed to our front end. So this next underscore public makes this available to our client application for Next.js. And that is fine to expose our anon key here because we're using row level security. So because we ticked those enable row level security boxes, it means that this is all good.
And you have to restart the server after that if you haven't done that already.
Good.
You change your env file.
Awesome. So now we should have those environment variables set, which means we should be able to have created our client here. And so we're just going to console log out our email and password and make sure that this logic is working before we go and sign in our user. So this page or this component has just been declared in our components folder. So we need to actually bring that in our index page. So we're going to import sign in from /components/ login. And then we want to display our login component. So we can do some magic around showing this or the other one once we get to that point. But for now, we just want to show our component. So if we come back to our application and refresh, hydration failed because we're trying to access things in login. Wait, why are we getting a hydration error? That doesn't make sense.
Refresh? Did you refresh?
The initial UI does not match what was
open your console
on the server.
Not the browser console, sorry.
HTML contains form in main. But we do have a form. So usually you get this error when you're trying to, when you're like rendering something based on some state that doesn't exist on the server. But here with login, we should just be like straight up rendering out this form. This doesn't.
Unless you got a syntax error anywhere.
Yeah, maybe. Login. So we declare a sign-in function, and we're saying that's what we want to call when we submit the form. And then email and password from there, and console logging that out. So I guess I could like comment out what's in here. So we just have a sign-in function.
That looks better.
Nope, still broken.
Maybe restart the server again. Sometimes it gives you some errors on startup that it didn't last time. But no, that looks okay,
Nope.
but still. Is your import correct for the login page?
Import login from .. so we come out of the pages folder into the components folder,
and you're exporting default from login.
Export default login. Maybe install a different version of Node. Our underscore app.tsx, that's all good.
Yeah, it's not. If you look at like the compiled HTML, like in the browser, it's literally just not rendering the login component for some reason.
Nope, not there. That is very weird. We bring
Maybe
that
try
in.
rendering something else in that main.
Yeah. Paragraph that says hello, and then we see that and we refresh. We don't get any errors. We try to bring in our login again, and we refresh, and everything's fine. Okay.
Now, what a joke.
Who knows? We are building a haunted app here on the Supabase Happy Hour this week. This is what we get for trying to build something too quickly. We get random errors that throw us down a rabbit hole of a complete waste of time. Cool. So we have our inputs there, and we can't really see them at all.
I've got a good idea. I'm just seeing what Tyler's doing on the features component. But I'm thinking,
can we talk about this?
React query.
Oh, okay.
Throw another spanner in the works.
Do you want to run us through what you're doing?
Yeah. So okay, I have a question for you two that I cannot figure out. So I'm trying to properly type this from clause right here in the features. Yeah, and it's not. So what's the correct way of doing it in V2?
Do we have an answer for you?
I love this, Tyler.
Good job. All right.
Yeah, you set us up nicely.
Yeah, so this doesn't work.
Okay, so if you've watched previous streams, you'll see that that's how we have told Supabase how what type we're trying to pull from the table. That makes no sense.
I always no, it's funny because I always make you write this, and you're like, do we have to? But yeah, we have an answer now, so John doesn't have to write all the types out.
And so you get to use a CLI. Watch me install another package. So
you have the CLI installed?
But won't it not be the latest one?
Probably, yeah. Just do brew upgrade Supabase if you've already got it installed.
Brew upgrade Supabase. Okay, so the thing that we're dancing around here is that as of launch week number 5, day number 1, we have now launched some special TypeScript stuff that's going to help us type everything in Supabase, so we don't need to go through all of that manual typing every single time we select data from a particular table. We don't need to tell it what kind of shape we're expecting to get back, because we can now use Supabase to generate that for us. So, Alaister, do you know the command?
I do not.
Okay.
I can go and check the blog post.
I'm going to go with gen. gen, and then can we
TypeScript?
hgen
Gen
types
TypeScript? Something like
types,
that.
and then help me TypeScript. Look at that. Error
And
must
then you need to
specify.
put in the DB URL. So you might like to do this in off screen because you have to actually provide your database connection string. So the nice thing about this is you can just use it with any Postgres database because it just connects to your database correctly, scans the schema, and outputs the TypeScript types, which I think is super cool.
That is SUPA cool.
So generally speaking, you wouldn't really run this on your local machine, right? You would let CI/CD pipeline take care of this. Is that
You
correct?
probably you could do both, but I actually would run it on my local machine because you pass those types in directly to your when your Supabase create client method. So having that allows you to kind of like, yeah, maybe you should generate it. Maybe both is the correct answer then, because if you generate it and get a different result to what you're working with in dev, then you have it throw an error or something.
I guess the answer is it depends, huh?
Yeah, that's always the answer.
I am just trying to find my connection string. There we go. All right. So if you go
swap
to
out the password.
settings and then database, I probably should have written down the database password.
You definitely should have written down the database password. You can reset it though.
Okay. How do I?
there's nothing-
Reset database password.
we have a feature for that, so don't worry about it.
I like it. All right. Would you like to? I can put up something.
Can you npm install React Query for me, because I think it will be it's pretty easy. It's and then we're not writing the same thing 6 times. Oh, it's actually not React Query anymore. I've given you a dodgy info. It's like @tanstack/React Query.
@tanstack/React Query.
Perhaps.
By the way, Alaister, is your Tailwind autocomplete working?
No, nothing's working. Live share is the worst.
Right. Okay. I was trying to figure that out, but okay, I guess
You've npm installed uninstall and React Query.
Did what?
npm uninstall.
Yeah.
The uninstall package.
Then I'm going to install this one. All right, and let's hope that has worked. Well, how about I leave this one up on the screen, and Alaister, do you want to take us through how you would refactor this features part to use React Query instead of using use effect?
I just think, is package.lock, like, is package.json really broken for you? Just real quick. I don't know if it's live share or if it's like something's actually gone on, or maybe it's both. Yeah, that looks okay.
Should the uninstall?
No.
There we
go. So basically, for those that haven't used React Query or SWR, I can highly recommend them. They're fantastic. First thing we need to do is set up a query provider, which is just essentially wrapping your app in a whole. Just remove it from package.json, John. It's the easy way.
But it's in our node modules.
Yeah, but then just run npm install again. It will sort it out.
Cool. All right. Boom.
So yeah, this pattern of kind of well, the file's not up anymore on the. Yeah, can you go back to features.tsx? No, I'll keep waffling on about various things.
Please.
Yeah, so this is kind of the way that we've actually done it in like most of the other streams, but there's a lot of like boilerplate to set up. So we have to like set the data every time, make sure it's all properly typed. Like we're doing this typing in 2 places. We'll get rid of this here, and then React Query will allow us to get rid of this part. We're not even doing any error handling here yet, so we should be doing that. We're not doing any loading state, so it's like there's a lot of manual work doing it this way. Like it's fine for small apps, but React Query is also probably even better for small apps and big apps. It's just great. So you just import use query from 10-stack query. And then you can use that use query. You give the query key. So this case is going to be our features. And then a query function. And conveniently, Tyler's already written this get features function, which is essentially what all we need is this part. So we can do that. We can grab that. We can return data. And if there's an error, we can just throw it, because then React Query can handle that for us as well. So React Query gives us back data and like error. So those will come through for us. But it also gives us things like is loading or is error or things like that, which make it just super easy to build your app. I'm also going to remove this bit of typing here. So it looks pretty similar at this stage, but it's actually doing all of those things for us. And it also can refetch for us automatically. So I might leave this here for a second just until we get the CLI stuff set up. Then we can compare.
Okay, so I'm having a problem trying to generate my types that it cannot connect to the Docker daemon when I'm using.
Are you running Docker?
No. Do I
You
need
got to run
running
Docker? Yeah. Supabase CLI needs Docker. Unfortunately, we're working on it, but it does.
Okay. Let me run Docker. And then we generate the types. Error connection from daemon dial Unix, blah, blah, blah. Connection refused.
Docker takes like a minute to start up.
We're good. All right. Docker's up. It's pulling the Docker image.
Also, with that command, you'll need to pipe the output into a file with like the right angle bracket, the greater than.
Okay.
Which way is that one? The one next to the question mark on the keyboard. So, and then you put a file name like Supabase types. Might I suggest the blog post for a helpful command reference of what's typed?
Yeah. And also I can just, so that people know what I'm actually doing here. What we're running is, let me just pull this bit in. I'm trying to keep it all secret. Alaister's making me do things properly. Since we started talking about like SOC 2 and security things, I have to not expose things live on stream. Supabase gen types TypeScript. So this is the command that we run to generate our TypeScript file, which then we can use in our application. We then need to give it our DB URL. And so this is going to be our connection string, which you can find under settings and then database in the Supabase dashboard. And then you need to sub in this part with your database password. And so
I've added a bit to the end of the command as well.
At the end of the command, you need to tell it where you actually want to save this. Otherwise, it will just dump it out in the terminal. So we're telling it we want to save it to supabase.types.ts. So if I do that here, supabase.types.ts, and run this command off screen, we should hopefully very soon see a special new file pop up under, it should just be in the root directory, right? Yeah, supabase.types.ts. So we've now generated this file from our Supabase database. And so this now has all of our different tables. So we have our features, we have our votes, we have, everything that is currently in our database. So each time we run this generation script, we can generate all of the TypeScript types. So we don't need to worry about doing it manually. So back here in our features.tsx, well, I guess we can just leave this. Okay. Actually, I will take this and I'll move it to where we actually care about it, which is in our supabase.ts file. So where we're creating our client, rather than, so what Tyler was saying before is that the way that we used to specify this is on our .from, we would have to say, this is going to give us back an array of feature. And we'd need to explicitly declare our feature here. But since we can generate our types now, we just need to tell Supabase what all of our types are. And we can do that when we actually create our client. So I think it was just in angle brackets here, right?
Database.
Yes. And so I need to import that, right? From root directory. Supabase types. Is that all I need to do?
Curly braces. It's named import, named export.
Boom. And that's it. And now in our features, we don't need to specify anything here. That's the only time we need to tell our Supabase client about any of our
If you
types.
actually hover over the data type now,
Yeah.
the return data type, you can see
tells us exactly what we're going to get.
Wow.
Now, here's the really cool part, right? Maybe select just ID and title. Like, say you don't care about the created at timestamp.
Data is now just an ID and a title. Damn.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
That is so cool.
Now, in that case, do I no longer need this type up
You
here?
no longer need that. You no longer need to write that manually.
Never again do we have to think about TypeScript.
And we don't need to pass it in to our from. Like, you still can to override stuff if you need to. Like, for example, nested data return. What are they called? Relations. That's the word I'm looking for. Relations just come back as unknown. So you need to type those still yourself, but that's okay. You can still even just reference those generated types. It's just a case of doing it manually.
That's so cool.
And Jack is asking a question in chat there saying, do types work for both Postgres functions as well? Yes, they do. John, do you want to just jump back over to the generated types file and you'll see. I don't know. Yeah, down the bottom. There we go. Functions. We don't have any functions yet, but there is a place for them in there.
That's so cool. Man, that is going to be a super big time saver. That's very cool. Awesome. Okay. So what do we want to do next? Should we consult our list of what we need to get done? Did I create a thing? Yeah. All right. We have created a hosted Postgres instance. We probably should have added to this. Select data from database. Actually, we have now created relationships across multiple tables. And so we just need to wire up our select for these features. So back over in our index.tsx page. So how are we going to do this with you were talking about our wrapping component, our auth component. So how do we use this to wrap around our index route, our index component, so that we know whether we have a user or not?
Well, I was just planning to do it as a very simple thing on you can either have a with auth page or an unauthenticated page. So I was imagining the page and the login page unsecured, whereas the like new feature page, for example, will be a with login page. But we can extend it to support this use case.
All right.
Let's see where I've got too many files open now. So maybe we take a prop that's like,
well, if you want, we can just like add the component up here, like a smart component, as to whether it's rendering the login or rendering the other page.
It's all right. I'm going to add a parameter called should redirect, which is going to be an optional Boolean. I'll change this to options. And then this can take like an object, which is with auth options. And this has should redirect. We'll set this to true. So by default, it will redirect the user back if there isn't one.
Cool.
And then we can also set this as a default object there, so we don't have to provide it. Then down here, we've got if should redirect, we can return this. Otherwise, we can always just return. I think that's a reasonably simple way of doing it.
Cool.
So yeah, should redirect, it will redirect if there's not a session, but still pass through the session if there is one. Otherwise, it it will just pass through either the session is either null or a session. So now if you wrap the homepage in with auth with should redirect set to false, then you should be able to access the session within.
Nice. So we wrap this around this, and then this is our component that we pass in, and then are you saying we need another configuration here to say should redirect false?
Sure.
And then this will now get passed a session. Is that right?
Yeah, and you just type this as any because I haven't done any typing and we don't have time for that. No, after the whole object. After the whole object. Yeah. And now if you just console log that session, it should come back as null until we log in.
Now, if we refresh, we see null.
And if on the refresh, did we very quickly see a flash of a loading spinner there? We should.
We did.
Yes.
I don't know if it's picking it up, if it's fast enough, but we are definitely seeing a quick loading spinner flash.
So like we said, this is very single page app-ish today. No server-side rendering, loading spinners everywhere.
Love it. So if we have a session, then we want to go to something. Otherwise, we want to go to login. So if we have a session, we want to render out our features, which come in from components features. Otherwise, we want to render our login. So now we are not currently logged in. Let's quickly just make.
I was imagining you could see all the features. Like if you weren't logged in, then you only had to log in to like vote or submit a new feature. What do you reckon?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Sounds better, yeah.
All right. So rather than being, one or the other here, so you're saying we can always see features.
Yeah.
And then if we don't have a session, then we want to render the login. All right.
Sounds good.
So wait, we should be seeing features, right? Why aren't we seeing features?
Something that begins with R and ends in LS.
It's RLS. We have enabled RLS for our table. So if we come across here and go to authentication and policies, we can see that our feature table has RLS enabled. And as we said before, this denies all actions by default. So if we want to enable one of those actions, we need to write a policy to be able to enable it. So we are going to create a new policy, and
we're going to go fast.
The users can read features.
All features, maybe? Users can read all features.
Oh, just their features? No, shouldn't it be all features?
All features. That's what I mean. We're being explicit.
Cool. So we want to select. We don't want this to be on any roles because we still want them to be able to see these even if they're not logged in.
I mean, we probably should select, here's a cheeky performance tip, select both anon and authenticated, and then it won't have to, like if you're coming in as one of those other roles, which like is, stuff in the database, it won't even have to scan them at all. So you just get a nice speed up there.
Sick.
Nice, looks good, true, great policy.
Yeah, so this expression, you just need to return an expression that evaluates to either true or false. If you just want to enable that action, you can just return true. Otherwise, like if you wanted to specify that the user needs to be signed in or something like that, then this is where you would do it. So we're going to say review, save policy. And now if we refresh our application, look at that. Test record. Upvote. That is beautiful. Sick. Okay, cool. So we can see the data that's coming out of our database. So now let's wire up our login. I might just put a border around our login bits so we can actually.
By the way, I made the whole app like a Flex container. Flex call by default. So watch out for that if you're thinking, why am I in Flex?
Love it. Is that how we do borders? Yes. And let's also put one around this. And let's just make them both block as well. Whoops. All right. So we have these two. Let's have a button to actually submit this form. So we'll have a button that says login. All right. And this button is type submit. So this is going
make
to
it difficult for Tyler. Sorry.
our form.
Oh
God, what's happening here?
Trying to create a form.
All right, cool. So we have. Let's just put. Takes too long to build things properly. Let's just remember that is. Let's have a placeholder. It says john@example.com and password, which has
ampersand bull, ampersand bull, ampersand bull. That's what you need to do.
ampersand
this,
bull?
like placeholder. Check it out. It's great.
Placeholder equals ampersand. You say bull?
Like BULL, and then a semicolon.
What is?
And then copy and paste that 8 times.
Right. 2, 3, 4. Do we want 8 of them? 2, 4, 6, 8.
Looks great.
That does look great, except it's actually got out. Yeah, there we go. Look at that.
Looks like a password.
That's so nice. All right, I'm going to say john@supabase.com and give it a password. And now when I click login, oh yeah, that's right. All we were doing was seeing whether we had wired this up correctly, which it doesn't look like we have because it just, because I got rid of all this stuff. So we just want to see whether we are getting our email and password from this this thing here, john@supabase.com. Look at that. Email, password 123, john@supabase.com. Awesome. So that's correct.
Nice.
So now we just need to tell Supabase about it. So we say await auth supabase.auth.sign in with password, and we pass it across our email and our password. And that should be it. Cannot find Supabase because I also got rid of that import. And so we get back some stuff. All right, this is complaining at us because we don't have file is not assignable to type string. Cool. So if no email or no password, return. No. Form data value is not assignable to type string. You can't give a default value for destructuring, can you? That would be very nice if you could be like, Alaister, you're muted. Or your mic's broken again.
It's fine. Maybe an equal sign?
An equal sign?
Yeah, equals something.
Oh, can you actually do this?
Why not?
Oh, but that's not the problem, right? It needs to be...
It needs to be a string, yeah.
All right. All right. We have to do it the ugly way, everyone. Const form data, blame TypeScript of this, and then we want to say const email equals a string version. Actually, we can call toString on it, can't we? So form data.get email .toString. And we want to do this for password as well. And now if we don't have either of those, we'll return. Otherwise, we will send that across to Supabase. And then we get back data and error. And we can just console log out our data and our error. Right. So let's see. Can we actually sign in? Let's click login. We get an error, 400 bad request. But we did get back. Oh, yeah, right. Of course, we always get data, invalid login credentials. But we don't have any. Oh, right. This is because I am trying to sign in currently, whereas if we don't have a user yet, we need to call sign up. Is there a way? There is no way to do like sign in or sign up, right? Like we can do with our third party OAuth stuff.
I don't know. Don't
I don't
think
think
so. No.
so. Yeah.
Maybe just add another button that says sign up.
Yeah. I always do that for quick
Same
and dirty
form.
development.
Quick and dirty.
Love it.
Like it.
Like in the form, have a. It can also. Okay, so I'd need to make each button call a different one, right?
In this case, yeah, but
Goodbye form. Goodbye. Actually, I can keep the form. I just won't have it on submit.
I wonder if there's a way you can do it. Like you can switch on what type, on what button you clicked, have the same like single.
Sure, we could.
I have no idea.
But for now, we're just going to
Quick and dirty.
say this one is handle login, and this one can be click equals handle sign up. So then this function becomes our login function, which doesn't need to prevent default anymore. Oh, all of this is going to be different, isn't it? Because it's just clicking a button. All right. Let's go back to our form and say on submit equals, what was it? Sign in. So I think there's maybe like a value, or is it action or something? Let's see. Oops. We want a sign up and a sign in. All right. So let's see. On submit form button actions. Does anyone in the chat know how to determine which button is being clicked when we're submitting a form? I feel like there's an action.
E.target instead of, because one's like E.current target and the other one's E.target. I don't know.
No, like determining which, like if both of these are submit buttons, which one?
I mean, whack an ID on them.
Form action.
What does form action do?
Oh,
what's up, Swix? How you doing? Button name?
Oh, hey.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. You could put a name on these, right? That's a good point. If and just treat them as a normal form element, and then just see if that name. But then both names will be there. Event target ID.
Right, let's try form action.
I didn't even know what form action is. I've never used that before.
Login, and then I think. Well, let's check form action. Form.
You've got sign in and login.
We'll get there. Form action. HTML form. Form action button on a HTML
yeah, Swix
form.
says there should ideally only be one submit button, I think, for accessibility. Probably.
Okay.
Probably. I feel like accessibility and quick and dirty do not go together. Killing my microphone, sorry.
All right, one submit button. And then if we... Oh man, how do we do this? I don't want to like go and redo it all so it's using React state and things. Let's just go with sign up, and right now you can just sign up, and if we need to log in later, we can sort that out. So
we can change the code.
Yeah. Yeah, anyone who's using our app can change the code to be able to sign in. What has happened here? We need a unique key prop. So in our features, I'm assuming we're iterating over each of
Right.
these. Then
Forgot
this
about
one
that.
needs a key equal to feature.id. And now if we go john@supabase.com and we give the super secure password of this, cool. We get back our user and they are currently authenticated. But over in our Supabase,
Oh, Tyler, we're doing the same thing. I was just putting it on a whole different page.
Oh, sorry for that.
No, it's all good. I don't know how
so
we want it on the same page, but then we can share it with auth helper.
So anytime you are like signing up a new user, it goes into this state of waiting for verification. So that's what waiting for the user to receive the email and click a little button saying that they would like to verify their email. So since I used my actual Supabase email, I can do that. And now if we refresh this, we can see that I am now properly verified. So this is a good way to make sure that all of your users are actual users and you're not just getting hit by a whole bunch of spam. So if I close this now, so we should now be signed in, right? We should be able to see our session. Our session is still null.
Maybe a cheeky refresh.
Still null.
Did you sign in again? Did you change sign in? Sorry, I was.
Oh yeah.
Are you all going to demo the real-time thing you released today? We are going to try to. If you stick around for another, we've only got half an hour left. For the next hour. Who knows how
Swix,
long
you
we're
missed
going.
the first 45 minutes where we were struggling with an npm issue and reinstalling new versions of Node instead of building out our app. So I think we may fail at our original task of building an entire app in 2 hours.
It's happening.
It's happening. All right.
We're just going to be here for a bit longer.
All right. So now we want to sign in with password. And save this, refresh this, and now john@supabase.com, and I think that was my password. Cool. All right. So now we have a session. Awesome. Why does this still say sign in? Okay. It's gone. Cool. So now I have a session. So we've got an access token. We've got a user. Awesome. Okay, cool. So now what do we want to do?
I guess something cooking in the features page. I mean, so if you go back to the page and go to the index page.
Index?
Yeah, do you want to open the browser? I wanna see how it looks once you're signed in. Okay, so you got some form going on there, right? What new features you want? Do you want to try submit new one? What features you want right there? Submit it maybe. I don't think it's gonna work. I feel like it's gonna.
This is because we have a row level security violation. Why do we have a row level security violation?
Because we haven't defined any row level policies for insert.
That's right. So we have a select policy. So this allows us to read all of those values. But if we want to be able to write to them, we need to create a new policy for insert. Users can insert, can add their own features. So for a user to be able to insert a new row, we want them to always be signed in. So we want the role of authenticated. And then we also want to make sure that they're not trying to insert a row that for another user, like impersonate another user and submit a new feature. So we can check that the user ID column of our feature table or this new row that's being inserted into our feature table, we can check that user ID matches our auth.uid. Wait.
It says, yeah, we don't have a
not.
user ID column in
Because
the
we're not actually
features
trying
table.
to. Oh no, we are trying to add a new feature.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
cool.
think for now we can just say true. Yeah. Or we can
So
either
just
say true or we
authenticated-
can add a new column.
Alaister,
We
were
need
you saying something?
security.
Authenticated users can insert features.
Like that.
So this one, authenticated. Cool. So we just want the user to be authenticated, so we can set this to true, and now only people who are authenticated will be able to insert a new feature. So let's save that policy, and now in our application, if we try to submit that one again and open up our console, actually we probably right, and just refresh, we should have two new features. Cool. Awesome. So that's now working. So we can insert stuff into the database. We can select stuff from the database. So do we want to wire up this upvote button?
Before we do, I've just been working on the same thing as Tyler, but I've just put it on a different page.
Right.
Which is on the features new page. But this one's slightly different because it works, it wires up React Query.
I was going to ask that, how to do refresh with
Speaking of, I
React
haven't
Query.
actually finished wiring it up. But it's basically the same thing. It's pretty simple, just wrapped in a use mutation there. And again, this gives us fun things like is loading, so I can then like disable. Can you disable a whole form? I feel like you can.
Yeah,
Disable every element on the.
disable.
Oh, no, you put a field set, and then you can disable the field set, maybe.
Right.
Anyway, so this essentially does the same thing, but then there's an onSuccess handler which invalidates the features query, which was that one that we set up before. So the nice thing about this is loading flag will stay true until the onSuccess async thing is finished as well. So the form will actually stay like submitting until, and then we redirect. Like maybe we can do router.push and go back to the home page on success as well.
Sick.
Yeah. So maybe we can use this one.
Okay.
Okay. So as in our features component, do you mean? So replace the submitting feature code?
Well, yeah, leave all of that there because we'll change that to upvotes. Just like give it a try by just going to the page directly, and then we can see if it.
Going to
features new.
Features/new. Ooh, this looks a little nicer than the other page.
I didn't
Maybe it's
do
just
any
because there's
styling
black on the page. My new feature, even newer feature. Submit.
And you can see it automatically adds it to the list because React Query does that invalidation for us, which is
awesome.
pretty nice. So maybe we change the order of these so newest features come to the top.
Yeah, awesome. Let's do that. So that would be in our features component, right? So when we're actually selecting them from the database, do you mean here? We want to add an order.
Yep.
And what we want to order it by. So I guess we want to order it by created at.
Yeah, we can remove our select as well condition.
Whoa! Why do I keep jumping around to where Tyler is?
Because Tyler probably hit save.
Oh, that's why. Sorry for that.
Right, sorry if I just broke something. Ascending set to false.
That's definitely how you spell ascending. Who needs C's?
Ascending set to false. Awesome. All right.
And also, yeah, nice.
And then is this automatically going to Oh yeah, we haven't added any real-time stuff yet, have we? Oh right, I broke your. There we go. All right, cool. All right, awesome. So now, okay, so now we click request a new feature to go to our new our features.new page, and if we say this is awesome and click submit, we see this is awesome pop up the top. So how are we going to handle real-time events? So right now, if I enter one in, then when it redirects me to this page, it all looks right because that new, like we're navigating to a new page and doing a new select for all of our features. But how will this work if we want other people, like when someone else adds a feature, if we also want to see it while we have our application open?
Before we get to those, I was promised triggers. No.
Mm.
How much time do we have?
Let's go like a touch over time because I think it'd be pretty cool. We can,
Right.
yeah. I'll cook up one of the new real-time demos. You can cook up the database demo here, but with a trigger. So, what I think we can do is add a column to our features table called votes count, and then whenever we insert a vote into the votes table, we can increment that
Oh, that's a good
votes
idea.
count. We can then
Mm.
watch the features table with our real-time client and display the votes count next to it and just increment it on everyone's screen as they come through.
That's an excellent idea. All right, cool. So over here on our features table, we're going to create a new column for up vote count.
Nice.
And this one is going to be an int. We're expecting this to go super high, so we're going to use an int 8. That's a little joke that is can store an incredibly large number. Probably don't need it to be an int 8. It could be an int 2 or an int 4, but we're
No,
going to use int 8.
int 8 isn't that big.
Oh, really?
I thought you were. I thought the joke was the other way around. You want like
Ah.
int 8 is only max integer limits max value. Oh no, it'll be plenty big. No, you're right. I take it
Like
all
in
back.
the like many beyond billions of billions, right?
I don't know how many decimal places that
So
is.
many numbers. So we're going to set the default value to 0, which means that we don't want to allow nullable because it will always be 0 or a higher number than 0. So if we save this, it's going to add our column for upvotes, and they're all going to be set to 0. So then what Alaister was saying is we can use something called Postgres triggers to listen to a particular table and then run some kind of function. And so the functions that we can run need to be Postgres functions. So we're going to create one of those now. So we go to database and then functions. We're going to create a new function. And this is going to be, I guess, increment upvotes. It's going to be on the public schema. The return type has to be trigger because we're going to use this to subscribe to events in the database and then call this function. So anytime you're setting up a trigger that's going to call a Postgres function, it needs to return a trigger type. So then the definition is going to have a begin and an end. And what do we want to do in here?
No idea.
Okay. I guess we want to select the current value of the. Oh, we get access to old and new. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, because we're going to add this to the other table. So basically, it's just it's going to tell us that there's a new upvote. So we just need to increment it by 1. So I guess we need to select current count, and then we need to increment by 1, and then we need to count. Yeah. Seems like a lot of steps for something that's so simple, but I think we do need to do that, which means we're going to need to declare a new variable to hold that state. So this is going to be current count, and this is going to be of type int. We then want to do our select. So we're going to say select star. Well, I guess it's just, what was the name of our actual column? Upvote count.
Upvote count. Yeah.
From our features table, where the ID is equal to, so the trigger is going to be set on our upvote count table. So it's going to run every single time we insert a new value into that table. And so the ID that we have access to, if we say new.id, that is going to be the new ID of our upvote table, not our features table. So we need to get the feature ID. So this is the ID for the feature that this upvote is associated with. And we need to check on the features table where that ID matches that column value. Does that make sense? That was a really confusing way to explain that. This function is going to run every time we insert a new value into the upvote table. And so each one of those rows that's inserted into that table has a feature that it's associated with, so a column for feature underscore ID. And so that's what we're grabbing here. We're saying new.feature ID is going to give us that new value, the feature that the upvote is associated with. We're then going off to the features table and grabbing the upvote count for that particular feature, so the current upvote count. And we want to store that somewhere, so we're going to say select that into our current underscore count variable. We then need to increment this by 1, so we can say current count is equal to current count plus 1. I can assure you Alaister knows a single SQL command that does all 3 of these things in one statement with like
I think this is
subqueries.
exactly how I do it. Looks good.
Okay.
No comments.
So then we want to update. How do you write an update statement? I guess we want to update features. We want
Update
to
features.
set current count. Upvote count. So the column name upvote count to be equal to our current count. And then that's all I need to do, right? That's all I need to do, right?
Where?
You need a where
Don't
statement?
forget your where clause.
I forgot my where clause. So if we didn't put a where clause on it, it would go and update this for every single upvote count column in our features table. So we always, anytime we're doing an update or a delete, always make sure that you have a where clause. So we want to only do this where the ID for our features column is again set to our new.feature ID. All right. And then we also need to return new. So anytime you're creating a trigger function, you always need to return new at the end of it. I am going to set this one, the type of security for this to be security definer instead of security invoker. So in security invoker is usually when you're performing something on behalf of a user, whereas a security definer is like a system action. And so since this is just recalculating the number of votes that we have or the number of upvotes, that's like an automated system task, even if it's being triggered by someone inserting a new value. So basically security definer bypasses RLS and security invoker enforces RLS. So I'm going to confirm this. And then we need to set up a trigger, which is what actually listens to that table and then calls that function. So I'm going to create a new trigger for just on upvote count. We want to tell it the table that we want to listen to. So in this case, it's going to be our votes table. We want to listen to, well, I guess we only want to listen to insert events because basically every upvote that's inserted in is going to be a new positive upvote. We don't have any downvotes or anything like that. So we're just going to do on insert, and do we want this to be, does it matter if it's before or after in this case? I'm going to go with before. Yeah. Alaister is slowly nodding. And then...
no, I want after.
All right, we're going to go after.
Yeah, usually go with after. I'm not a multitasker, I'll tell you now.
And then the orientation can either be for row or statement. And so we always set it to row because statement, like one statement could affect multiple rows. And so this function would only get called once for all of those rows that have been inserted, whereas we want it to run for every single row because we need to recalculate that upvote value every single time. And then we choose a function to call. We're going to call increment votes and confirm. All right. Cool. Do you reckon it works? I reckon it works. So if we go and get my user ID and we create a new vote, I need 2 of them. How about we just wire it up to happen from the front end and we can see whether it's working. So where has my button gone to upvote things?
You have to go into an event now.
Oh, yeah, right, okay. You can click into one of them.
Nice.
And not the celebrate button. That's for something I'm cooking up in the kitchen.
Oh,
don't worry about it.
Hold on, let me.
All right, so I want to click this, this little ta-da, and it's saying that.
Yeah, that's I'm cooking it up. Come back later. Tyler's adding a button for you.
Thank you. This is nice, having all this development happen. Yeah.
Okay, so there should be a vote button. You can go to. Is there?
Sorry, if I go to features, new. Oh wait, no, this would be features ID. So this is looking at a page for a particular one. We'll ignore what Alaister is doing there. So we have a button, and on click we're calling vote, and so this is a function that says Supabase.fromVotes insert feature ID, the ID that we're currently looking at. Awesome. Okay, cool. So this should work, but it's saying that user ID is not defined. Upvote, celebrate, upvote. Oh, do I click the upvote button?
Yep.
Oh, it's still clicking the little ta-da thing. All right, so we have a 403 here, and if we have a look at the response, new row violates row level security policy. Why is this happening? Because we have not yet enabled this action. So if we go to authentication and then policies, we've enabled insert on our features, but we haven't enabled insert on our votes. So we need to create a new policy, and we will say this is for insert, and we'll say a user can insert their own upvote. And this is going to default to authenticated roles, so only people who are signed in can do this. And for this one, we want to check that the user ID column for that particular upvote is set to the same user that is trying to perform this action. So auth.uid, remember that's that Postgres function that Supabase gives us that allows us to detect who the current user is. So basically, the user who's trying to insert this upvote, we want to check that they're only trying to add an upvote for themselves. They're not trying to upvote on behalf of anyone else, because we would not want that. All right, we're going to save this policy, and oh, look at this. Look at this beautiful styled tab. Oh, it's so nice.
That's Tyler.
It looks
if it was
so
me
nice.
that was styling it, it would look suspicious.
All right, cool. So
Michael Panda has a good point. What about people taking back upvotes? So currently, the way we have set up, sorry, I took it out. Currently, the way we have set it up, it's set up so that anybody can upvote as many times as they want to, isn't it? We didn't set a composite primary key on the votes table, so people can insert as much rows as they want to. So in reality, what we should have done is we should have set a composite primary key on composite key or composite primary key, either way, on the user ID and the feature ID. And that way you could only single person can upvote on a single feature, and then that'll make it easy to take down upvotes and stuff. But for now, I think we're gonna leave it this way and just let people go nuts. And
an awesome community feature if people would like if people would like to build to open a PR to submit to this one, that would be an awesome feature to add. But I guess you can't, because it's all in the Supabase side of things. But yeah, that would be an awesome way to take this application and then build something slightly different. But yeah, for this one, going for simple. So we want probably a number of how many upvotes we currently have. So if we have our button and it's an upvote, so this is where we'll use some real-time stuff. Is this what you're currently doing, Alaister?
I just wanted to do something with confetti.
I'm clicking the button. The button doesn't do anything yet. All right. So if we go and look in our database, though, just to prove this is all working. So our votes, every time we add a new vote, so we've added 2 votes for this particular feature. And so now if we have a look at features, this one, this even newer feature, has 2. So that part is actually working, which is awesome. So I guess we want to implement real time to be able to listen to when new people add upvotes. So essentially our UI is updating. Let me actually just check this, our feature list, because we might actually be like getting close to having this. We implemented authentication. We implemented authorization with row level policies. We implemented Postgres.
Oh, this feels good.
We implemented Postgres triggers.
Nice.
We were never ever going to get to
edge functions, no way.
or RPC. But
we will get to deploy. Yeah.
Yep.
We'll get to real time and we'll get to deploy. I need to stop trying to save that. Cool. So let's do real time. So if we have our, I guess this will just be on the main display page. Is that right? Like or we can
ideally
initially...
it should be on both, but
well, yeah. All right. So let's just implement it on this page for now because it looks slightly nicer. And yeah, and then we can just copy the same logic.
Excel really is small. I'm trying to make the text bigger, but
the XLG.
No, Excel should be 1, and then 2XL and 4XL and 6XL.
This is 3XL right now, but okay, yeah.
Yeah, the scale is if you want like big stuff in your face, and I guess there's not really much going on this page, so we need to fill up a lot of space. So yeah, maybe we need it to be quite XL. All right, so we have our feature for this particular feature. We're going and fetching the data once to get the number of features. So why don't we actually show what our current count is. So in the button, we could have what's the name?
Do we have to update the table definition by running the CLI commands again?
Yes, we would. Good call. So yeah, so since we have changed our, we've added columns, TypeScript, the TypeScript definition file that we created would now be out of date. So I'm just running that Supabase gen types TypeScript command off screen, and that's going to replace that file. And so now if we refresh our app here, no, it's broken. We broke everything.
It's upvote feature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it should be good.
There we go. Cool. And so now in our data up here, so our feature, now that we've run that that command to generate our type, we now have an upvote count. So down here in our upvote, we can set this to is it just data? What are we setting this to? What is this?
No idea.
So we have our vote. Yeah, feature dot. All right, cool. So this is our feature dot upvote count. Now our upvote we'll see is 0. And if I click this a whole bunch of times, we're not seeing anything. But then if I refresh, we'll see that that's now 13. And so what we want is each time we actually click this, we want it to update in real time. And if anyone else were to click it, like if Alaister or Tyler were to click this right now, a whole bunch of times maybe, and then I was to refresh, no.
I'm not logged in. You're the only one logged in.
Yeah, we don't have the end file, right. So
okay. Yeah, we'll fix that up. Maybe we're going to have to fix it up if we want people to be able to log in. All right, we will do it in a second. So we want this upvote count to automatically update, and so we first probably need to do we want to make this its own state variable so we can change it? I don't know how your magic use query stuff works.
Me either.
Oh, sorry. What are you trying to do?
Do I just
Update
create a
upvote
new
in real
state
time?
variable just for our our rolling changed
Uh,
upvote number?
Yeah, that's probably the easiest way to do it. Just copy the state into there and also add like a use effect that watches the feature. Like you can use React Query directly and update. There's something called the query client and like go in and mutate the cache, which is probably the correct way to do it, but doesn't sound like quick and dirty to me.
So we want to, well, let's just say that we start off with null. Yuck. And then when we go and get one of our features, I'm going to break all your React query stuff. I'm going to make it not so nice.
That's right. Just put the state underneath it. Oh no, you don't need to. Do a use effect.
Okay. That's a good idea. So yeah, so if we create a use effect, and
Ask
that
a quick question also. So if I want to make the top list of features real time as well, do I have to break React Query as well in this case to do it quick and dirty?
Yeah, we shouldn't have used React Query then. Just for that one, we can either leave that or you can just look at how to update the query cache.
Sure.
All right. This work? So I am now listening to any time that a feature changes, but this doesn't know what a feature is because we haven't declared it yet, obviously. So if I move this down here, so anytime a feature changes, so anytime React Query updates this value, then we want to call upvote count and we want to set it to feature upvote count or 0 maybe.
Nice.
What's its problem? Undefined is not assignable to type. Set action. Does this not fix it if I say or set it to 0?
What's that you're saying again?
Unknown word?
No, upvote's okay. Hover over the red thing. Oh, we got to regenerate the types, right? We changed the database.
No, we did that. We've generated the types. Yeah.
Too fast for me then.
Yeah.
You got to set the type of your set state to number.
All right. You mean don't do this?
I mean, you can do null if you wanted to, but yeah, you'd have to type it in there.
Ah, look at that. Nice. Cool. So we set that to 0 if we don't have one. Otherwise, we set it to the new value. So now, if we just do upvote count, then we now have upvote 13. And if I click this a bunch of times and refresh, we've got upvote 22. But this is now based off our new state variable. And so now we can update that state variable to be whatever we want. So we're going to add another use effect to subscribe to changes in our database. So we're going to say use effect, and we're going to run this only on mount. And we're going to say const channel equals, and this is going to be the new Supabase real-time stuff. So I'm going to reference the docs. If we go to guides and then go to real-time and then go to Postgres changes. And so now we've split up real-time into 3 different kind of segments. And so we have broadcast, which is a way to basically send messages between peers without needing to go through the database. So this is like more similar to like WebRTC or something like that. We then have presence, which is like if you've used like Notion or Google Docs or something like that, and you have a collaborative workspace where you have multiple people signed in, and you can see up the top like who is currently there. With built-in features to do that. And now what you used to know as Postgres, as Supabase real-time is now this Postgres, I think it's database real-time. And so we've changed the syntax slightly to look something like this. So if I grab this.
Oh no, I'm undoing your stuff. Sorry.
Fun stuff. Why isn't it fixing my styling? What have I done wrong? Oh no, there we go. All right, cool. So, well, the old way that we would have done this is Supabase dot on, and then the name of the table that you'd like to listen to, and then what events you would like to listen to. So it's very similar. It's just broken up into a slightly different, like you declare each of those things in a slightly different way. So we get back a channel. So all of the new real-time stuff is based around channels. Everything is a channel. When you do a broadcast, you get back a channel to broadcast over. When you do presence, you get back a channel. And so when you're listening to database changes as well, you get a channel to listen to those changes on. This channel name can be whatever you want. And so here we're declaring that this is called db-changes, but this could be anything. But this one is a special one that we need. So on Postgres changes is the event that we need to tell it that we want to listen to. That's like the overall channel that we want to listen to. So we want to listen anytime anything in Postgres changes. We then give it an event. So this is similar to before where you have like insert, update, or delete, or you have star. So in our case, we just want to listen to inserts because that's the only thing that's changing in our upvotes system. The schema that we want to listen to is public, which is really cool because now we have a way to listen to real-time changes across multiple schemas. So it doesn't need to just be on the public schema, which, might help us out for other use cases around like our auth.users table, for example. And then this is similar to what we declared before. And so we declare this function and it gets passed a payload. So if we just run exactly this, actually we'll even do it properly and we'll clean up our stuff. This is not how you do this. Whoops.
Is it disconnect maybe?
I think it's supabase.remove.
I think you can split this channel out as a variable. So at the moment it's .on. So if you do it like now you should be able to do channel dot
disconnect
unsubscribe. Maybe. Yeah, sure.
You want to do it with nice autocomplete? Yeah, cool. That's correct. Awesome. All right, cool. So we just want to console log out this payload and see what we're actually getting. So now if we refresh and open up our console and click upvote, we are not getting anything. And if we refresh, they are being sent. So what's going on here? Channel.on Postgres changes. We're listening to insert changes. Oh yeah, we need to tell it which table. That's probably right?
Maybe. Yeah, let's try that table.
The table that we want to listen to is
sorry, not votes, features, right?
Features. Everything red.
That was me. Don't worry about it.
All right, and then we refresh and we click upvote. No, okay. Let's have a look at the docs. So that's to listen to everything. So to listen to insert events on a particular table, we say const. Are you sure you don't do it like this, Alaister, declaring the on at the same time?
You can do. I was just. I don't think it makes a difference. To be honest, I can't get my one to work either.
All right. Well, let's try that. So if we say this again. So we're listening to inserts on public features. I save at the moment, or will that break things?
It should be okay.
And let's not worry about returning this. Let's just do that bit.
Oh no, it's going to break things because I'm.
All right, we'll wait for Alaister to finish his.
Okay, should be okay.
Cool.
Should the channel be? Should the channel be? What's the channel right now? Yeah, channel, not DB changes, but should it be public colon table name, schema column table name? That's what I'm seeing at the documentation.
This one?
We're looking at something else, something different, aren't we? I'm looking. What am I looking at? Or what are you looking at?
I am looking at the guide section on real-time Postgres changes, but I'm not sure
I'm
if
looking at reference docs right now. Let's try that. So in channel,
And I'm looking at the blog post, and they all say slightly different things. We can go back to yelling at Wenbo. That's good. We haven't yelled at Wenbo in a while.
So yeah, let's try that. So
to be fair, this only came out yesterday,
that
so
one.
Oh, Micro
scroll down
Panda
a bit?
says 1 minute left. Yeah, no, we're definitely going over time.
Yeah, 6 minutes overtime. So in
Yep.
channels, line 64, you can
Mhm.
do public colon features.
Okay, it does actually work.
This is just a name. I don't think this part matters. I think you can call this whatever you want.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's why it'd be different.
Sure.
If we say dot channel this, yeah, it's just a name that we're giving it rather than a specific thing, like a specific value that we need to give it. Whereas this one needs to be Postgres changes. The event is up. So what if we just insert? What if we just do this and this? So we're listening to everything on every schema. And check whether this works. And click upvotes. No, we're not getting those events at all. So that's very strange because we definitely ticked real time. Let's go check if that is on. So if this isn't working and you didn't tick that enable real time button at the start, if you go to database and then replication, you can check whether it's enabled. So yeah, this is enabled for features and also for votes.
Okay, so I'm checking the real-time traffic just coming over the socket, which you can do as well, and it looks like it is in fact working nicely. Like the events are actually coming over. So what I think the problem is real-time v2. I mean, Supabase JS v2 is having some difficulties integrating with React.
Oh yeah, this is something Wembo called out, that maybe when using strict mode, which does Next.js give us access to switch off strict mode? React strict mode. False. And now let's quit this.
So what's this issue?
Again, React strict mode is something that I think enables all of the like suspensey stuff, or the all that stuff that React is working on. And just at the moment, there is people are experiencing a weird issue with new real time
Interesting.
when running in strict mode. So if we turn that off, still not working. But I don't know if that actually switches it off properly. So
you got to restart. Do you restart the server? Oh, I saw a vote just bump up. Maybe that was.
Well, we're not changing the votes yet. We're just trying to console log out. What's going on?
Oh, that was just React query being nice.
Being nice and going and getting fresh stuff for you. Get thingy.
That's me. I'm getting something working.
I love this. this version of the happy hour stream where we're all just like building separate things at the same time.
What I'm doing is defining the channel outside of React scope. So if you scroll all the way up to the top, I'm just doing it in here, and then I'm making sure to only set the channel up once. So obviously we can yell at Wenbo in a bit and tell him to fix it to work with React. But in this case, I'm just making sure to set up and call subscribe once, and then we'll just leave it subscribed, which is super hacky, but you know, it kind of works.
Okay.
So you can set up another channel up here if you like.
So if I move this stuff up, right. So we just need to subscribe to it once. But the problem is we won't have access to state to be able to call set state and update the number of votes.
I mean, maybe you can put the on handler in here. I don't know.
Okay. I don't know. So if we up the top create a channel. All right, but we need to put it on something, right? Do we need to put it on the window? Yeah, so sorry, people watching the stream, this is just a hacky way around something that might be broken at the moment that might be fixed very soon. But yeah, I think with React strict mode, something weird is happening with subscriptions. But yeah, I would have thought turning off React strict mode or Next.js be as simple as flipping that little thing. React strict mode development only each other, blah blah blah. Yeah, seems like you should just be able to set that to false. Weird. All right. Should we not worry about the real-time part of this and check back in?
Okay, we can follow up next week when we've yelled at Wenbo, but we can do mine because it's kind of working.
Okay.
Yeah, nice.
Which is a really dumb button, but I need you to install me another package.
Okay.
Gotta remember the name of it though. Give me uno momento.
The confetti package?
Yeah, is it just called confetti? I think it might be.
I think React confetti is
no, I don't. I just want
regular confetti.
Oh no, there is confetti React, but I don't want the React version. I just want
confetti.js.
Confetti.
Confetti.js npm package. Oh, you have to like create a confetti generator and call render.
Confetti React is looking the easiest.
Yeah, confetti React is where it's at.
For the confetti,
it's just like make confetti happen.
Yeah, but I don't want to render a component. I just want to call a method and have it dump confetti all over the screen. Like, what could be more fun than that?
I have done this in the past, so. But maybe
React native confetti cannon.
Ooh. I think that's what you want actually. Like you want the cannon to come from like a particular origin. So
we just need to pick a package that. What's this party.js do?
Party.js.
Oh yeah. This one might work.
So you just do party.confetti. But you have to do this. You don't have an actual.
Why can't someone just make a package that just dumps TS particles?
All right. So is real time going to work?
Yeah. Well, I can show you what we've got so far.
Okay.
If you scroll up to the top.
All right. So we're creating a new channel, and then if the window is not undefined,
So only in the
essentially if we're
browser we're
running
going to
in the
set this
browser.
up, and then we're only going to set it up once. So if not channel, I'll instantiate it. We're listening to on the celebrations channel. On broadcast of the event celebrate, we get an event back, and I'm console logging get thingy because, very scientific. And then if you scroll down to the celebrate method in
celebrate, there we go.
Here, you can see we're channel.send, type broadcast, event celebrate, payload, the ID. So we can match it on this page and then, dump it over the screen. But
we failed at many things today.
Well, we can deploy that. But if you go to the console, we can see the messages coming through. So we can count it as a half win.
All right. I like half wins. All right. So we refresh here. And then if we click celebrate, we see results.
But if I click celebrate,
ooh,
you can see
that's cool. Right. So we are getting those real-time
broadcast events coming through.
Yeah,
and you can
okay,
see
so
there's a payload.
Must just
And there's also a self-broadcast option that you can enable so that you can get this notification as well, right?
Yeah, so if you pass a configuration object when you're creating the channel, you can say, if you set self to true, then you will get anything that you send, you'll basically get a receipt for it. So you can see what you're trying to send. But yeah, we'll work out what's going on and we'll follow up next time.
But let's deploy because it'll take 5 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
All right.
And we can say we deployed something.
No one will be able to use it because the user stuff doesn't work, but app and GitHub repo. How do we do that stuff? GitHub repo create. And what's the name of our app?
Feature wish list.
Feature wish list. Cool. I just created that off screen. So now we can say git remote. Actually, we probably need to. No, we haven't. All right, git remote add origin. Git remote add origin. This thing. That one, and then we want it to be /feature wish list dot wish. Oh, it worked. Awesome.
Nice.
All right, and now back over here, we can go to vercel.com. We can create a new project, and we can pull this in from our feature wish list thing. We just need to set some environment variables. So we need one for Supabase URL.
Copy next public as well, doesn't it? Yeah. I'll just copy paste from that file. It'll be easy.
Cool. There is actually a new way, I think, to just to like read it directly from a .env file. But for now, we will just copy and paste this across. And deploy. Oh, you're about to see the effect that that Alaister was trying to get. We should just see what they're using.
Probably React Confetti. I've used React Confetti before. It works great, but just because I'm not in the React context and having to do it outside of the component at the page level, it might be a bit hard to set up.
Oh, fail.
Oh, nothing's going right.
No, it doesn't like that it implicitly has an anytime. Thank you for aggressively enforcing TypeScript. It's good. Where was this? This was down in here. We can say this is an any, and now we can git add another one, push that up. And now if we, I think we need to
open
go
a
through
new. No,
project.
I think it should be deploying. New tab, Vercel.
That one. Deployments. Deploying.
All right. While that's doing that, we can add the domain because we might as well use it.
Nice.
Sure. All right. How do we add a domain in
Settings?
FSL?
No, go back. You were there. No, you've gone too far back. Settings.
Deployments.
Settings. Settings.
Domains.
Featurewishlist.com.
Featurewishlist.com.
And then we'll add the second one. I like the second one the best.
All right. We'll add a www. Is that it? Is that all I have to do, or are you setting up stuff on the DNS?
No, I already set it up. So look, it's done it. It's generating the SSL certificate. SSL is, yeah,
that's so cool.
It's nice.
Sick. And I think we're actually there. So now, if let's see if all of it worked.
This will be
Boom! Look at that.
Production app looks great.
Production app. And now if I log in as Jon at supabase.com, does anyone remember what the password was that I used?
Something secret, something.
Oh, guessed it. Nailed it. Awesome. Okay, cool. And now I can request a new feature. Live in prod. Submit. Live in prod. There it is. Unfortunately, we can't get the real-time stuff working just yet. But if we open up the console, we can see that if we do click the celebrate button, that's all still working. Alaister clicks it a whole bunch. We can see that part is working. So the real-time stuff is in there, but we just need to do some tweaking to get it working properly. But
AKA shout at Wenbo.
I'm calling this a success.
Yeah, why not?
Saying that we
had a lot of fun.
Technically have real-time in there. And we deployed it. So we did everything that we were planning on doing, except for all that stuff that was definitely out of scope. But
yeah, look at all those X's. That's what you got to look at here.
Look at all those X's. In 2 hours and 21 minutes, we implemented so many X's, and we even had like 45 minutes of stupid technical problems with
installing
PNPN. So there we go. We did it.
Very nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So if you're struggling as to where to get started with your hackathon project, you can definitely use this application as a guide for where to get started, and this stream as to how to set up authentication and how to do all of the things, how to install different node versions, and everything that we went through in this stream. So yes, the hackathon is running only for this weekend. This weekend is the last weekend that you can get things done. So make sure you add your bells and whistles to your hackathon projects and submit them. Check out this blog for all of the prizes that we're handing out, and also
cash prizes, right?
Cash
Do you think
money.
we'll get the $1,500 for our app, Jon?
I reckon we might. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks
best
great.
designed.
It's very functional.
Yeah.
Least functional app. That's we should have fun categories where you just try and build the most like chaotic thing. Actually, I used to work at a company where we had like actual internal hackathons, and one of the categories was like biggest security risk, and it was like if you like used like because they
when you worked at a bank.
No, this was when I worked at the real estate company. But yes, if you built something that would, if you actually launched it to production, could expose a whole bunch of customer data, or had a whole bunch of sensitive stuff that it shouldn't. They were the ones that could win this specific category. So we should totally add that to our hackathon.
Oh, there's a great comment there. Is it Poseidon? Is that what the username is? I'm not good at usernames.
Poseidon? Jon forgot to add explanation of security, but I didn't. I did. I went through it very quickly. I talked about the security level. I explained that security invoker happens on behalf of the user.
Props to you for watching all the streams and listening to that explanation many times.
But yes, also check out the supabase.com/launch week page to see all of the things that we've shipped this week, and stay tuned for what will be shipping in, I guess, about 12 hours. 12 and a half hours. When I'll be definitely asleep. So enjoy it on my behalf. That's it, I think, from us. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you again next week.
Yeah, thanks
Remember
everyone.
to submit your hackathon project.
Yeah, very excited to see everyone's hackathons projects. I think it's going to be awesome.
Bye everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.